Hey guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota in Noblesville, Indiana. This is part 2 of the Eric Builds a 250 video series of a possible part 3 of my personal LC250 build. Let's get started. Okay, so I just got my Land Cruiser back from Slee. I sent it to Slee Off-Road because I wanted to have them install the front bumper, the suspension, and also the sliders, which at the time that I wanted it, they were not available for sale yet. So I sent my car out there and they were gracious enough to get me in and install all these parts to make sure that the form, fit, finish, and fitment is just perfect before they actually put them on their website for retail sale. We're gonna start with the front. This front bumper, of course, is the Slee front bumper. We'll kind of mention first and foremost that there are a couple different parts. You have the bolt-on side wings. The side wings are the same 7-gauge steel that the front is. What kind of makes this whole front area unique, first and foremost, it is a 7-gauge steel. It's a 50 grade, high strength, low alloy steel, which is about 50% more impact resistance than your general purpose mild steel. The side wings also are the same 7-gauge HSLA steel. You'll notice that they're kind of a winged design, could provide additional aerodynamics on the vehicle, but mainly there for aesthetic, but also approach angle. A couple things to mention on this particular design. One, you do have a splash seal that's behind here. This is great to kind of keep your road debris, mud, dirt, rocks, and all that stuff from getting inside your front bumper. The front wing is gusseted for just additional rigidity and strength, and it does retain your parking sensors. I kind of wish that maybe I had thought about that beforehand and ordered a black sensor before I sent the vehicle out there, but they do retain the sensors from the vehicle, which are going to be color matched on the sides, and they'll be black in the center. So it doesn't require purchasing new ones. Maybe just a little detail that I possibly would have done if I had thought about that. Moving into the front of the bumper, you'll notice a couple things. One, you have the camera in the center, so we've relocated the camera. This is a critical element to this design because one of the biggest features of the new technology in the 250 versus previous generations is the ability to have the multi-terrain monitor. Yes, the 2016 through 2021 200 series had that to some extent as well, but on a 250, you have a high-res camera and it has the overlay of the video, so you can see your lines that you're trying to run on off-road with the video, with the virtual overlay of the vehicle. So the video camera relocation is ultra critical. Again, retainment of your parking sensors in the front. Of course, a winch, got a come up 9.5K winch installed on this one. You'll notice that it is finished off with this Slee Haas Fair lead and Factor 55 Ultra Hook in black. Also, we have symmetrical to each other. We have the wired winch controller connection point right here in the front, easy to get to. This particular winch also has a wireless winch as well, but as we know, it's easy to lose things or charge the batteries, especially when you need it most. So you have the wired connection easily accessible. And then on this side, we have the quick fit connection for our ARB twin air compressor right here. We also have another one of these in the rear of the vehicle, but easily accessible in the front. It is very nice to have an extra controller in the front and rear of the vehicle, because if you need to help somebody, the 20-foot hose on the pump-up kit won't reach from the back of your vehicle to another vehicle, so you're kind of stuck to just your car. So it's nice having the extra one here as well. Then, of course, we have lights. We'll talk about these. These are made by Nacho. If you're not familiar with Nacho, I'm not so much either. It's a new company to me, at least. They are somehow affiliated with ARB in some capacity, but I don't know that they are actual ARB lights. These things are really cool, really high-tech, and they offer a lot of function. We'll probably do a completely separate video on the lights, but just as a general overview, you'll notice that if you kind of get up here close, you'll notice that there is a high and a low beam for the fog lights. Obviously, there's the same as well on the top too. There are multiple different patterns that you can choose. You can do high and low, you can do diffused, or you can do flood and spot. Each of these can be floods, each of these can be spots. You can make one of them a flood and one of them a spot, or one a spot and one a flood. It's just a matter of cycling through the different options that they have pre-programmed into the actual computer, but in this LED light. To cycle those through, you just tap a magnet on it, and it will switch through, and it will remember and retain that setting until you change it again. You'll notice that these are amber color, which I personally love having an amber color on the lower part of a vehicle for snowy days or foggy days. It's just much easier to see than white, which can be have the opposite effect and be more blinding. These are actually white lights, and there's a center ring that you can pull off and then take this lens cap off. This is nice for a couple reasons. One, you are adding another layer of protection against the glass, although this is probably not going to break, but you do have another layer. Also, you can take it off to clean it. Right now it's a little bit dirty, I apologize. I didn't realize it was dirty until just now. But you just set your lens cap on there, and then you put your trim ring on and just give it a little bit of a push. So it's easy to do. Some light covers are very, very hard to pull off. These are not hard at all to pull off, but they're not easy enough where they're going to naturally hit a bump and they're going to fall off. Same thing with the fog lights. You have this little lens cover on it that you can just pull off. You have high and low, again, on both the top ones and the bottom ones. Slee had actually programmed a Switch Pro, on our Switch Pro, a fog light button, so we can run these even if our high beams are on, which Toyota is going to stop you from doing. So that's just a quick little overview of the lights. Lastly, you'll notice that this bumper does have a bull bar. This bull bar, besides having functionality and looking cool, it's actually the mounting point for these lights. So these lights are clamped on to the bull bar, and that's just the design of it. So overall, I think it's a nice look and super functional. And the current stance that I have it at now, so I'm running the Toyota skid plates that came with the vehicle. However, those will be going soon, and on my part 3 of the video, it'll have the Slee LC250 aluminum skid plates. Okay, so kind of moving over to the side of the vehicle, and we'll kind of show off the suspension on some B-roll. What we have here is coilovers in the front, a remote reservoir. This is a 2.5-inch shock housing. What makes it really kind of unique and special is just the ease of adjustability for the actual compression adjustment. You'll notice the red dial right underneath of the remote reservoir to easily adjustable your compression. Also, you have an Old Man Emu upper control arm. Kind of moving off to the rear, still remote reservoir shocks. Again, easily adjustable for your compression. But for the rear springs, we're using the OME 3311 rear springs, which is a 2-inch lift in the rear. For rock slider steps, again, this is an LC 250 Premium. Came with the Toyota running boards, and so what we've done is we've changed those out for the Slee Off-Road LC250/GX550 rock sliders. I like this slider step a lot. It's their form style, but it looks very OEM. Doesn't look, you know, like a bent Dom steel. Just very more modern look to it. Nice angles on it. Really nice tread plates. Not only do they have a nice texture pattern on them also, but they also have these additional indentations where the steel is actually bent upward, so you have a maximum traction for both from the front and rear passengers. And then underneath of it, we've mounted some additional rock lights. As you approach the vehicle will sense the key and it'll turn on your courtesy lights automatically, as opposed to in the past where you would actually have to unlock the vehicle or lock the vehicle for the lights to turn on and off. Now it's done via proximity, so as you approach the vehicle, even without touching the key, your lights will still automatically glow on you. And of course, you can override those rock lights on by the Switch Pro. So if you are in an off-road environment, maybe a low light, need a spotter to look underneath your car, you can actually turn on your rock lights while you're driving with the touch of a button. Okay, so kind of moving over to the top of the vehicle, a couple things that we've added. This is the Westcott Designs cargo utility plate shelf. This is kind of cool because it gives you an additional place to store some additional gear on the outside of the car, so items that are maybe dirty or you don't want to have inside the car because maybe it smells, maybe, you know, like a Rotopax gas tank or something like that. Something that that you want to keep on the outside of the vehicle, you can do that with this particular attachment. Although I don't necessarily like the look 100% of having something that's bulky, this is something that is very functional, and if you like the look of the more brawny, more off-road accessories, it's great. I wanted to have it because I wanted to have it when I needed it and take it off when I don't need it. So I am going to put a gasoline Rotopax here because one of the flaws of the 250, well, any Land Cruiser is just the range that you can drive just due to the tank size and the fuel economy. But this is very easily attached or detached. It's just a couple bolts right here and then 2 suction cups to the glass. This is, I've driven this for a couple 100 miles now with this on, and I really haven't noticed any additional wind noise. So they make one for both sides of the vehicle. I didn't want to have one on the other side because it kind of loses some visibility, but there's really no driver visibility out of this window anyway. So I see no safety concerns whatsoever, especially with blind spot monitoring and stuff. So this utility shelf is here when it needs to be, and it can be removed within a minute when you don't need it. Moving on to the lighting. So this roof rack was installed prior to sending it to Slee for the additional modifications, but didn't have the opportunity to get the lights put on prior to that. So now that it's back, got my scene lights on. Went with 4. These are the rigid SRLs. They're sold in pairs. So I have a pair for the driver and passenger side. In the past, I usually switch these so that there are a left and right switching. In this case, I went ahead and had them all on or all off at the same time. Did that to eliminate lack of switches on the Switch Pro that were available. But also, if you're going to have them on, it's not going to hinder having it on the opposite side of the vehicle anyway. So these are a 2-stage light. The lights are going to be either full white or kind of an amber glow. I'll go ahead and turn on the amber glow. This is actually really nice, especially at night, because if you're at a campsite and you're camping near your vehicle, you kind of have some ambient light that you can use if you need to, use the restroom in the middle of the night or something like that. You don't have to get a flashlight out. You have this additional light that surrounds the vehicle for safety, security, maybe keep some animals away, but also just having a little bit of extra night light. These do not take hardly any power, so there'd be no problem of just keeping these things on. You can keep these on for probably weeks without having to risk draining your battery. Now, with that said, there is a white light function built into them, which would obviously draw a significant amount more power because they are so much more brighter. But at least that you're not having to use 2 lights, you're just having to use 1. And then to have these mounted, the one thing about these particular lights is they do come in a completely flush pattern or a flush style. So to have these kind of mounted at the angle that I wanted them on, I'm using the Descent Off-Road scene light angle bracket for these exact lights. And so I can adjust this a little bit more, whichever way I want it. It just require, physically pulling on it or loosening it just a little bit with a Allen wrench. So kind of moving off to the back, again, all these accessories that you're seeing are already listed in part 1 of this video series, but 2 things that we did add since then are going to be these additional buttons right here and right here next to the speakers. They're symmetrical with each other. One of them is labeled hatch and one of them is labeled glass. The difference between the 2 is one of them is going to pop the glass from the inside of the vehicle and one's going to pop the hatch back from the inside of the vehicle. So the way that the car comes with, you can close it right here. And then of course you can open the glass with this button located right here. But again, my ultimate goal is to have a sleeping platform inside the vehicle that Truckbox is working on for me. So stay tuned for that on the part 3 video series. But if you're inside the vehicle and you're camping and you're sleeping and you want to pop the glass from the inside, you don't want to get out of the door, walk around and press this button. So we have added a different version of this button on the inside. So if you're sitting on the inside, you can press the button, pop the glass. And same thing, to open up the actual full tailgate from the inside, that's what the other button's going to do. Okay, and then final mod, per my kids' request, we did add heated rear seats. So we did add heaters underneath of the OEM leather for both the butt and the back. And they are controlled with these little rocker switches right here for low and for high. And then the middle position is off. And then one more last thing I forgot to mention is the ARB diff breather kit. So we do have located right here behind the driver's side fuse box. You do have your ARB diff breather kit with a line ran to both front and rear axles. And that's pretty much it for Eric Builds an LC250 part 2 of my own personal LC250 build. If you guys like it, please hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Land Cruiser content. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask in the comment section below. And don't forget to stay tuned for a possible part 3.